The following is a pre-recorded edition of Snowman in the Morning, only on the Arena Sports Network.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Good morning.
It's time to wake up.
This is Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network.
Did you not get the memo? Let's get busy!
We're coming in a little late, and it's my own fault. Trying to get things situated, and things don't want to be situated. But now that they are, even though we're 3 minutes beyond the hour, let me say this. Good morning! Phew! That's what I forgot yesterday. Snowman in the Morning is back, presented by Fusion Ions Bands on this Tuesday morning. We thank you for joining us. We apologize for coming in a little bit on horseback. Still had some technical difficulties here in the studio. We are back. You're going to hear Rusty Silber in less than 60 seconds. Got a great story to tell you to lead off about a team called the Harlem Wizards. It's a version of the Harlem Globetrotters. Say more about that. Dip into a lot of high school basketball talk, both in Illinois and Indiana. I did a story yesterday, or relayed the story yesterday, about Curie. Their CPS championship was stripped from them, and now there's a petition to have it reinstated. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think they should be reinstated as CPS champions, or should the punishments remain? We'll get into all of that. Like I said, lots of high school basketball talk in Illinois and Indiana. Marquette Catholic getting ready for their run. Curie, Bogan here in Illinois getting ready for their run. And we're getting ready for Rusty's morning wrap because I hear music in the background. Didn't get a chance to do this yesterday, but we have a chance to do it this morning. And the gentleman you're going to hear right now is Rusty Silber. Good morning, Rusty.
Good morning, Brian. And by the way, the update on Curry at the time that we're getting this all together is the fact that they will play. They will play their game coming up later on tonight. But as far as I know, the ineligible players may not be playing the game.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I'm hearing. Now, I don't know if that's changed, but that's what I was reading. That's what I was hearing. The ineligible players can't play. So they're going to play with players that are eligible, which we don't know which ones they are.
No, we don't.
And they lost, 24 of their games.
Yeah, 24
and the championship game.
Oh, my gosh.
And yet the papers and the Sun-Times and Tribune still rank them at number one.
Oh, boy. That's worth an argument right there. What else?
Well, that's rankings anyhow. It doesn't mean much in what you do on the court, but
exactly.
If you lose out, you shouldn't be in that spot in my book, but and a lot of other people's books. But I guess, you know, this is a really tough decision. It really is. I'm sure we could sit on it for a long time about what's happened here. But if they did go against the rules, then there should be penalties against them.
It should be. Period. If you break the rules, you need to be penalized for it. That's my take on it. What else you got for me this morning?
Well, let's go through the sports morning, Brian. Everybody, welcome to Tuesday Rusty's Morning Wrap-Up presented by TCF Bank, the official bank of the Arena Sports Network. Bulls had won 5 straight games, but came out flat, and it cost them in a 96-80 loss to the Nets in Brooklyn last night. DJ Augustine led the Bulls with 16 points off the bench. Joakim Noah added 10 points and 6 rebounds, but he was limited in the amount of assists compared to what he had on Sunday against the Knicks. Bulls committed a total of 25 turnovers.
Ouch.
Wow. Bulls next take on the Pistons in Detroit tomorrow night. College basketball new AP poll is out. Florida still at number 1, unbeaten Wichita State at number 2, followed by Arizona, Duke, and Virginia. Wisconsin 9, Michigan 12, Michigan State 22, and Iowa 24. One game last night, Notre Dame fell to North Carolina 63-61. Games this evening, Illinois hosts number 12 Michigan, Northern Illinois at Western Michigan, and UIC visits Valparaiso. Blackhawks had one of its best games of the year, a 5-1 victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins on Saturday night. Hawks will host the Colorado Avalanche this evening at the United Center. Marian Hossa will be out of the lineup for 2 to 3 weeks with an upper body injury. Brandon Bullard signed a 3-year contract extension. Cactus League Baseball, Cubs beat the Brewers 4-2. White Sox over the Royals also by that same score. Or actually, they actually beat them 9-7. Let's get the right score together. Games today, White Sox at Cleveland. Cubs will host the A's. David Reinsdorf, the 51-year-old son of Chicago White Sox and Chicago Bulls chairman Jerry Reinsdorf, has passed away. No cause of the death was listed. And lastly, Brian, Blackhawks goaltender Corey Crawford said Monday he was going to start chaining his equipment to the wall. After already having his Stadium Series mask go missing after being shipped last week, Crawford said he had a pair of goalie pads and gloves stolen after Saturday's game at Soldier Field. Crawford also said he had told security that may have caught the theft on camera.
Oh.
I knew those cameras could catch people. Rusty Silver for the Arena Sports Network, and don't forget to visit TCF Bank for more information.
Let's just hope they catch the right people.
Oh, I think it's an inside job somewhere. I think one of the players got hold of the equipment. That's my best guess.
You know
but
what?
you can't point fingers at anybody, can you?
No, you can't. You can't. I'm still coming down off of the high of the performance they had at Soldier Field on Saturday night.
Oh, that was a great game. 5-1. Oh, they were so good that some people were saying they shoveled all that snow that was coming down. You're going to laugh at this. They shoveled all the snow that was coming down, and some of the workers, don't forget, work for the Chicago Park District.
Yes.
They were taking dibs behind the Chicago Blackhawks goal, and they wanted to put out some old chairs.
Not to. And this is coming along with the 62,000 people that were already there.
Don't forget who works for Soldier Field, the Chicago Park District.
I know. You ain't got to remind me. Trust me, you don't have to remind me. Thank you, Rusty. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, have a great day. Bye.
Rusty Silver for Rusty's Morning. Oh, gracious. I need a break. Come back in a deuce. And I'll tell you about a very special basketball team that I had a chance to take a peek at last night. This is Snowman in the Morning, and it's only on the Arena Sports Network. I'll be back.
Hey, you guys, could I ask you a couple questions?
Okay.
Saving money, what's it like for you?
Well, I'm an artist, so it happens sporadically.
But it does happen?
It does happen, and when it happens, it feels really, really good.
With easier savings at TCF Bank, what would you save for?
Oh, clothes and shoes. Housing repairs.
To buy a new car.
I'm saving for grad school.
And then I'm hoping to just save up, just to have savings, period.
What would make it easier to save money?
Having like a sugar mama.
Which isn't a bad plan, but if you needed a little banking plan or something, what would make it easier?
Something with an
automatic transfer?
Something with an automatic transfer, probably.
So you wouldn't even notice the money?
Automatically transferred.
Automagical.
Automagical, oh my gosh.
How much could you save if saving were actually easy? Open an account at the home of free checking today and find out. For locations and more information, call 1-855-OPEN-TCF or go to tcfbank.com. TCF Bank. Surprisingly simple. Member FDIC.
My name is Matt Rencars, and I'm the founder of Fusion Ions. We are so confident that you're going to love our bands. We want you to try one risk-free so you can see for yourself how powerful these bands really are. Don't wait. Go to FusionIons.com to find out how you can receive your very own free Fusion Ions band. Take advantage before they are gone. FusionIons.com. That's FusionIonz.com.
Wake up! Wake up, I said!
I don't want to work. I want to bang on the drum all day. I don't want to play. I just want to bang on the drum all day.
Snowman in the Morning is back, presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. And also by Slugmaster, baseball and softball hitting and training aids. Slugmaster turning batters into hitters. Lots of high school basketball talk to get to. But I want to tell you about a team that I had a chance to take a peek at last night out in Michigan City at the Shoals Center, the home of the Marquette Catholic Blazers. There's a traveling team called the Harlem Wizards, a trick hoops team. It's kind of like a version of the Harlem Globetrotters. And I didn't know what to think when I saw them, but Tony Midas invited me out, and he also put me to work as one of the ushers, and I also had a chance to – and they took on some Blazers greats, including girls head coach Abby Scooby, baseball player Daniel Miller, and a few others. And I got a chance to introduce them. You know what? It turned out better than I thought. I mean, yeah, it was if you ever get a chance, I want you to take a peek at harlemwizards.com. All right? Like I said, it's a version of the Harlem Globetrotters, and a couple of players on that team actually played with the Globetrotters. So you know what to expect. They got the fans involved. They had a great halftime show, great game. One of the players, Swoop is his nickname. They played a game where he throw the ball to you, but you have to watch it. You got to watch where the ball goes, and if you drop it, you're out of the game, and you will hear the words from the crowd, "You've been tricked." Well, this cute little girl wound up being the finalist. Actually, wound up winning because I think, I say this playfully, I think he kind of set it up for her to win, and I think she couldn't be no more than like 4 years old. Cute little girl, and she wound up being the winner. The fans got into it as a full house at the Shoals Center last night, and everybody had a blast. It was a great time. I got a chance to see a couple of old friends. Marquise Burks was in the house. As mentioned, Abby Scooby, sharpshooter from Loyola, who's now the girls basketball coach at Marquette Catholic. Had a chance to see her, a couple of others. It was a great time. It was a great time. And one of the kids that was working concessions, he said to me, I'm hoping that this place fills up. Well, before he could blink, the place was full. And they filled it up on one side first, and then they opened the other side of the stands and filled that up, and the fans just kept coming. They just kept coming. It was a great turnout, and they raised a lot of money for the athletic department at Marquette Catholic. I mean, they did a terrific job. They put on a terrific show, and one of the volleyball players there, Camille Burnett. I call her my little sis. In fact, all the players of the volleyball team were there. She did a fantastic job kicking off the event with the national anthem, and she did that right after I introduced the Blazers greats. She did a terrific job on the national anthem. Camille Burnett is her name, graduating senior, and let me give a shout to Principal Jim White and Athletic Director Tony Midas, both good friends of mine at Marquette Catholic, for putting on a terrific event last night. And Tony said in his remarks at halftime that they will do this event again. It was a wonderful, wonderful success, and everybody was into it. Everybody was into it, including yours truly. I was waiting to see what kind of tricks they had up their sleeve. And the DJ that the DJ that was the announcer, he kept saying something, and it was so true, because every time one of the Blazer greats would bury a three, he would say something to the tune of, "They told me they can shoot in Indiana," and I said, "You're not kidding." And I went over to Abby Scooby, and I told her, I said, "I got a chance to introduce you over the public address." She goes, "Yeah, how about it?" And I think she hit, in the first half, she was like 1 for 6 in the first half. And, she's a sharpshooter by nature, okay? And she just kept saying, "I'm so broke right now, I can't even buy a shot." And I said, "Well, I introduced you as the sharpshooter." She says, "I don't feel like it." But a great time was had by all. Full house last night. And I want to thank Tony Midas and the folks there at Marquette Catholic. And also, a shout to the Harlem Wizards. If you get a chance, take a peek at their website, harlemwizards.com, and find out when they're coming to your area. And like I said, full house last night. Great time was had by all. Snowman of the Morning, presented in part by Fusion Ions Bands. We remind you at Fusion Ions to live your best. Now then, the most interesting time of the season is here, and that's March Madness, especially on the high school ranks. But there are a couple of, I mentioned an interesting story yesterday with Curie being stripped of 24 wins and their city championship. And I also mentioned that there is a petition going around right now for their city championship to be reinstated. You know, and Rusty said this morning, and it's so true, that if you're in violation of any rules concerning the IHSA, then you should be punished. And what's going to happen to Curie is they're going to play their playoff games. They're allowed to play, but Michael Oliver, their head coach, has been suspended, and the 7 ineligible players, if you remember the story that I did yesterday, and you can go find it on Tribune.com, there were 7 players that were academically ineligible, and this is going on from the start of the 2013-2014 season. And again, I pose the question, how can you not know that your players aren't ineligible? And reading some of the articles and reading some of the opinions that I had yesterday and a chance to dig into it a little further, the kids didn't drop the ball. The adults did. You know, I believe that fully now. The adults dropped the ball. And unfortunately, it's costing the kids a city championship. It's costing them a city championship, and what makes it so bad is, you know, their petition. I understand the petition to get the championship reinstated. The kids did earn that in a 4-overtime classic, okay? But this is sort of a catch-22. I mean, the kids were academically ineligible, as according to the investigation, so they should be punished. Yes. But now you got the, I don't want to say the same parents that dropped the ball that are petitioning for a reinstatement of the city championship. It's just still a lot more gray area to look at. It's so many gray areas to look at right now, and we don't know if the championship is going to be reinstated. We don't. And what should frighten the daylights out of Curie, is that they are going into this at only half strength. We don't even know who the players are that have been suspended. We do not know the players that have been suspended, and the most popular player on the team is Cliff Alexander. Now, I believe he is headed to Kansas. What does this do for his psyche? If he's one of the players that, and they play DuSable tonight at 6 o'clock at Martin Luther King High School. King and Marist is the other regional semifinal. What does this do for Cliff Alexander's psyche if he's one of the players, and I'm praying this is not the case. I am absolutely praying that it's not the case that Cliff Alexander was one of the 7 ineligible students that could not, that will not be able to play in this state tournament. Now, here's the other little interesting thing as I'm looking at the brackets here. You can go to ihsa.org and follow along. Curie will play DuSable at 6. King and Marist will go at 8. You think it's possible that Curie and Marist could hook up for another regional final classic that they had 2 years ago? If you remember what happened I know I'm going to be told to play this clip, and I know my producer, my super producer, Josh Lopez, loves this clip. And I'm going to try to cue it up now because yours truly went a little bit mad. Oh, look what I found. Oh, boy. Okay. Mariston Curie could be heading... Oh, there we okay, there we go. We got it. Got the cue. We got the clip queued up. 2 years ago, Curie and Marist played a terrific regional championship game. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the way the bracket is lined up, these two could meet again. And it came down it came down to the wire, and yours truly was on the call for High School Cube. Curie was favored in that game. Cliff Alexander was only a sophomore at the time. Then this happened.
Play for one. McIntosh across into the front court. Looks for help. Finds Oden. Oden slips. Back to Mac. McIntosh on the drive to the corner. Out. Three Williams. Yes!
If y'all only knew how loud that place was. Again, I say, if y'all only knew how loud that place was. But we won't know anything until Friday when they get together. They'll play at King. You wonder, and again, I go back to the psyche of Curie playing with only half of a team because the 7 players that are ineligible, as far as we know, will not be allowed to play. They will not be allowed to play. So they're in one semifinal, King and Marist in the other, and Curie is still ranked number 1 by a couple of papers, even with everything that's going on. Homewood Flossmoor, the girls' team already bit the dust. They were booted, okay? And again, in another related story, Bogan, Uplift, and I believe Hyde Park were originally kicked out of the tournament, but then reinstated minus the coaches. And that's because of game scheduling. So many teams getting kicked out of the boys and girls state tournaments. It's a year for that. It's an unfortunate precedent, and it's a precedent that needs to change. But again, I will ask this again, and I'm going to repeat the question up until tonight when I get a chance to see them play, and you can watch them all on High School Cube. What will the psyche be for Curie playing with only half a team? We'll find out when they take the floor tonight. And it's going to be something. It's going to be something else. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. And with that in mind, we got to pause for a break. When we come back, we'll talk more high school hoops. Skinny on Sports, a repeat episode of Skinny on Sports, will kick off the second half of the show. But take a break and come back, and I'll tell you about the Blazers of Marquette Catholic and the season that they had. And they've done something that they haven't done in a while, and they look to repeat some history they haven't had a chance to repeat in a while. And that all comes your way. Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network. Back in a deuce.
You do a lot of thinking on a bike. About your life, family, your dreams. One of my dreams came to me on a bike, to open up my own shop. So what happens when you complete a dream? Well, you just start thinking of the next.
Visit DrastichAgency.com or call 219-945-3040 and ask Joel Drastich how you can get all of your insurance under one roof.
Hey, I'm Charles Tillman, cornerback for your Chicago Bears. I've tackled a lot in my life, but nothing more difficult than waiting for my daughter to receive a life-saving heart transplant. Thanks to the selfless gift of another human being, my wife and I get to hold our daughter each and every day. You too can help give someone a second chance at life. As a registered organ donor, you can help save the lives of more than 25 people. Be a team player. Register to be an organ and tissue donor at DonateLifeIllinois.org.
Gigahertz, providing customers with excellent service since 2008. Computer problem? Leave it to the staff at Gigahertz, priding themselves with an unparalleled work ethic and continuing to offer customers the lowest prices around. Gigahertz services include PC repair, networking, PC setup, custom PC builds, pickup and delivery, in addition to in-home and in-office service. Get small to large business solutions, service contracts, and much more. Computer problems? Gigahertz. And that's where we come in. Gigahertz for your computer repair and solution needs. In-home, in-store, wherever it's convenient for you. Think your PC's infected? Gigahertz offers free virus diagnostics, with most virus removals done in 48 hours or less. Plus, they'll optimize your PC. Take that, Best Buy. Give Gigahertz a call. 219-218-9323. That's 219-218-9323. Or log on to gigahertzpc.net. Gigahertz, and that's where we come in.
Time to be a little mellow, at least for a while. Let's see if anybody can guess the video game where this theme came from. Snowman in the Morning, back in your ears. 31 beyond the first hour. We are presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. And this portion presented by Gigahertz, the official computer solutions company of the Arena Sports Network. All right, we continue on our high school talk this morning. And I want to tell you about a team, Marquette Catholic. You've heard some of their games throughout the course of the season. They finished 14-6. They play no more than 21 games over in Indiana, which I think is a good rule. They finished 14-6, 8-0 in the Greater South Shore Conference. They claimed the regular season championship, and they're on a 6-game winning streak. They beat Elkhart Central. But what inspired me to take the reins for Marquette Catholic for the coverage, it started with a conversation that I had with Tony Midas last spring when their baseball team participated in the Railcats High School Baseball Challenge. More on that in a little while. And after a conversation with him, he joined me in the booth. Unfortunately, they couldn't complete the game because it got snowed out. Sorry, still a little mad about that. The game was snowed out. It was at U.S. Steel Yard in Gary. And because of that, Tony and I got to talking, and, you know, he said, I'd love to have you cover volleyball and basketball. And I said, sure, why not? So I had gotten a chance to know the kids. He put the word out that the games are being broadcast live, and the reception has been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. This is also after a conversation with Principal Jim White, who green-lighted everything. And Tony put the ball in motion, and it's been great. The kids there are awesome. The kids at Marquette Catholic, they're crazier than all get out, but it's a good kind of crazy because, you know, they're allowed, they're themselves. These kids get to be themselves. They know what they have to do academically. But what got me going is seeing the interaction they had with Tony Midas. They only come in there when they want something, and I say that jokingly. Sometimes they just want to talk to him. 90% of the time, they go looking for snacks or they go looking for drinks like soda and water and such. Or in some cases, they need to get into the locker room, and Tony's the only one that has the keys. I'll tell you a particular incident that happened that was funny. I was there last Friday before we hopped the bus to go to Elkhart to play Elkhart Memorial. And a few of the kids came in, and I think they kind of found out where his secret snack stash was, because he quickly got up and locked the door that was there's a door to my left. He quickly got up and locked it before they got in there. Tony and I were talking about it. Tony and I were talking about it after the game, and he says, I want them to at least come say hi before they rob me of my food. But these are some wonderful kids, and thank you to the parents as well of Marquette Catholic. And it started with, like I said, volleyball, and I wanted to bring something to them like I've brought to the rest of the schools that we've covered over the course of the years with the ISNet and now the ASN era. And one of the things I brought was nicknames. So I had to think of something for the volleyball team, for some of the members of the volleyball team, like Zoya Gans, Sabrina Brown, Haley Mellon, among others, were ones that I called out often during the broadcast. And if you go to the Marquette Catholic page on the Arena Sports Network, the arenasportsnetwork.com/Marquette Catholic, you'll see some of the archives. It's hard to pick a favorite because I'm asked this all the time by the kids out there. What are some of the best nicknames I've come up with since I've been at Marquette Catholic, since I've been calling games for Marquette Catholic, rather? And it's hard for me to pick one, but I think they already picked one for me from the volleyball team, and it's the most basic name I could come up with for Sabrina Brown. That's Downtown Sabrina Brown. Her mom loved it. The kids on the team also loved it as well. So that one stuck. Zoya Gans was Zebo. Haley Mellon was Haley the Mellon. I gotta remember some of the other players. Emily Lazarick, a freshman. I just had a weird name. I just had a way of saying her name. If anyone remembers the Buffalo Sabres play-by-play announcer and the way he says Pat LaFontaine, I did the same thing for Lazarick, and I put a few extra laws in front of Lazarick. Her mom caught wind of that and loved it too. I set all that up to say this. They play Friday. The Marquette Catholic Blazers basketball team does. They play Friday against the winner of Covenant Christian and Washington Township. And they play at 5:30? Yeah, they play 5:30. And if they win that, they'll play in the sectional championship on Saturday. Now, here's the strange thing that I'm learning about Illinois and Indiana high school basketball. And this is just from my perspective. I mean, people can offer different perspectives, and we can have a great discussion about it, and I hope to while this tournament goes on. And I know I'll mention this point again. Indiana high school basketball is quite serious. And I'm not saying that I'm partially saying that jokingly, but they know they're very serious when it comes to Indiana hoops. I mean, a lot of people have said, including Liz, have said Indiana is the birthplace of basketball. And the way they are there, I'm inclined to believe it now. I say now because, most of my work has been here in Chicago, has been here in Illinois, But I'm starting to feel the essence of Indiana high school hoops, man. I mean, they're serious. They are dead serious. A couple of players I saw last night, Javante Peels, Ryan Fasikas, when I asked them they were ready, they just looked at me with their game face. And they said, yes, sir, we're ready. I'm like, wow. They are serious. Well, they'll play Friday. The winner of Covenant Christian and Washington Township. And they'll play at 5:30. We'll have that for you over the Arena Sports Network. And we'll go up at 5 with a half-hour pregame show. And if they win Friday night, they will play Saturday for a sectional championship. And they're looking for their first sectional championship since 2000. And I thank Fitz for the correction he made to me on Friday when I said first sectional championship ever. That was incorrect. Man, this Marquette Catholic team, I guess, you know what? They remind me of the Bulls in a way. Let me explain. their big star, Ryan Fazekas, went down with an injury, a high ankle sprain. And it was so different with him not being in the lineup. And when he returned from his injury, the offense went bonkers. And they won at Lake Station, but then Zeke came back in the lineup against Lew Wallace on February 7th. Now listen to the numbers that they put up. 98, 86, 100, and then 94. And the last one they had 63 when they beat Elkhart Memorial. Big difference with Zeke in the lineup. But this whole team has begun to come together. And what should frighten folks in Class 1A is they're peaking at the right time. The 6-game winning streak that they have right now matches their longest. And in a stretch, they won 6 out of 7, and they won 7 out of 8, earlier in the year. It should have been 8 in a row, but they lost the lead against South Bend St. Joseph right after the new year. They had 2 overtime games, December 28th against De La Salle, and then January 10th against Bishop Knoll, in a game where they were about to get blown out of the building against Bishop Knoll. But this team kept fighting back, and they pulled it out in overtime, 67-61. And the place was rocking. The Shoals Student Center was absolutely unglued. Because if I am correct, and I want Fitz, I want you to correct me if I am wrong. I believe that is their first win against Bishop Knoll in a few tries. Now they kind of went down. They lost against Andrean 49-40, and they lost at Ignatius 62-47. They won at Wheeler in the Greater South Shore Conference tournament, and then Mother Nature struck and pushed everything back a day. They got beat by Bishop Knoll by 26, and Knoll wound up winning the conference tournament. But give kudos to this Blazer team, finishing with 6 straight wins, racing through the conference at 8-0. Bishop Knoll was 7-1, and that one loss was to Marquette Catholic. This Blazer team is beginning to peak at the right time. And some of the names that you're going to hear, Ryan Fazekas, who is signed to go to Providence, Braxton Miller, one of their guards, Richie Mitchell, Javante Peels, a.k.a. Brother Peels, and the kids told me that piece of information. Javante Peels is a jumping jack. I mean, dude, when he gets it together, he could put together an awesome game. And he's got hops out of this world. He does. He absolutely does. A couple of other names you want to listen for. Tyshawn Smallwood and Malcolm Reed. A couple of their bigs. They can run the floor, and they're going to have a test and a half with the state tournament. They're going to have a test and a half, but they're in a good position. Right now, they are in a good position to capitalize on the momentum that they have been building and have continued to build. And I watched the selection show, the IHSAA selection show last Sunday, and a couple of the pundits, including one of the guys on the selection show, they have Marquette Catholic in the 1A championship game. They have predicted Marquette Catholic to get to the 1A title game. But that is why they play the games. That's exactly why they play the games. Snowman in the Morning, presented in part by TCF Bank, the official bank of the Arena Sports Network. Go to tcfbank.com for more information. TCF Bank, surprisingly, TCF. Pause for a break. When we come back, this day in sports history, and then the question of the day in a deuce. You're listening to Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network. Back in a bit.
Have you ever wanted your own phone app but thought it was too expensive? Here is something even better. The best custom mobile page QR system in the world, designed for smartphones, iPhones, and tablets. Have the business card of the future for our mobile world. It includes your own customizable mobile page with unlimited flexibility, your contact info, YouTube channel, videos, events, specials, audio, and more, all on your mobile page. Your own back office so you can make real-time, unlimited updates and changes as often and as much as you want. One code is all you will ever need as you change anything in real time from your back office. This is your business card on all ads, Facebook, t-shirts, flyers, and doorways everywhere. All of this for $99.90 a year plus a $3 payment fee. Visit www.qr2015.net for more information or call 312-802-1208. That's 312-802-1208. The future is in your hands. Call or visit online today.
Want to get your rankings in the truest form? Want to get the best college news without all the fluff? Then tune in to Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. Join Kevin the Swamp Rat Horan as he ranks all the collegiate sports, from football to basketball and baseball to cross country, soccer, and so much more. Don't forget to visit www.kevinhoranrankings.com and sign up for his newsletter buzzing across the country. So if you want the best college news and rankings and see how the pros are outsmarted, tune in to Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. The Swamp Rat ranks them right every Wednesday night at 8 on the Arena Sports Network.
At Strachan Van Til, we just made saving on groceries even easier with our new building blocks of value. Just look for the new icons all around the store to find our weekly advertised specials, everyday smart buys, exclusive limited time offers, new lower prices, and even extra rewards. These bright, colorful icons are all about building honest, uncomplicated value, one block at a time, and giving you more ways to save every day. To learn more, visit ValueMeansMore.com today.
Anne Marie specializes in premier 5-star vendor and craft shows. She also offers event planning for special events of any kind. Anne Marie's goal is to provide both her vendors and shoppers with an exceptional experience, believing that promotion is the key to any successful event. Anne Marie has developed personal relationships with her vendors and is constantly being sought by vendors who would like to participate in her popular events, often with wait lists for vendors. Working with Anne Marie is an enjoyable, stress-free experience. Anne Marie is a perfectionist and very creative. She is 100% committed to each event from beginning to end and believes that promotion is the key to any successful event. No stone will go unturned as it relates to promotion. For the ultimate in event planning, contact Anne Marie today at 219-741-0435 or visit anne-marieprince.com. Premier events in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana are brought to you by Anne Marie.
How do you turn a batter into a hitter? With Slugmaster Hitting Stations. Slugmaster Hitting Stations are the most effective and durable baseball and softball batting practice devices available. Versatile, compact, and easy to use, they are excellent tools for ball player at any skill level. Attached to any pole or post for an instant hitting station. Use it at the ballpark, at home, or anywhere you want to get some hits in. Work the strike zone, top to bottom, in and out. The most complete workout year-round, indoors or outdoors, teams or individuals. Slugmaster equipment is constructed from high-grade steel. The rugged design means years and years of use. Slugmaster equipment is used by youth, high school, college, and professional ball players. For more information or to place your order, call 708-705-7354 or visit slugmaster.com. Slugmaster baseball and softball hitting aids, turning batters into hitters.
I dug this one out of the crates. $49 beyond the first hour. On our way to the second hour here on Snowman in the Morning, we are presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. And this portion presented by the ASN Sports Travel and Vacations Agency. Want to get ready for spring break? Visit asnsportstravel.com beginning today to book your spring break. All right, you want to talk a little history? I want to talk a little history too. You sure? You positive? You want to talk about history? Let's do this. Let's do a little This Day in Sports History. This Day in Sports History brought to you by the ASN Sports Travel and Vacations Agency. Today is March 4th, and on this day in sports history, in 1913, the New York Yankees traveled to Bermuda for spring practice. They were the first team to leave the U.S. to train. In 1930, Emma Fanning became the first woman bowler to make a perfect score in competitions sanctioned by the Women's International Bowling Congress. In 1970, the New York Rangers set an NHL record of 126 games without being shut out. 11 years later, in 1981, Guy Lafleur of the Montreal Canadiens scored his 1,000th career point. On this day in 1993, and it's a day that touches my heart, ESPN formed the V Foundation with Jim Valvano. Also that same year, that same day, and that same year, in 1993, in New York, the first ESPY Awards were held. A landmark day for the V Foundation. And the V Foundation has been continuing to do it, and they will continue to do it, and we support and salute them. That's this day in sports history, presented by the ASN Sports Travel Agency. Go to asnsportstravel.com for all your information. Hey, if you like what you hear, why don't you consider becoming a listener partner of the Arena Sports Network? For $30 a year, you can help bring the spotlight back to the student athlete and help us live out our mission to become the voice of 3 different counties and a 4th one on the way, the Quad County Experience. We can't build it without you, and we need your support. So if you go to the arenasportsnetwork.com/listener partner, you will find out, and you'll find where you can make your $30 donation, covers your subscription to our website for an entire year and to our great programming, and you can help us bring the spotlight back to the student athlete and also help us build the Quad County Experience. All right. Now that we are steaming toward the end of the first hour, it's time now for our Gigahertz question of the day, and it's presented by Gigahertz, the official computer solutions company of the Arena Sports Network. Gigahertz, and that's where we come in. All right, with the Stadium Series now being complete, and there were games at Dodger Stadium, Yankee Stadium, and, of course, Soldier Field, the question of the day is as follows. Which stadium would you want to participate in a Stadium Series? You know what? Just because of the absolute global weather situation, global snow globe, that's what I'm looking for. Snow globe look. I would love to do Soldier Field. The only problem is I can't skate worth a damn. I mean, not even in high-top shoes. And unfortunate incident working at Johnny's Ice House in 2002, doing a Thanksgiving tournament, and had to walk across the ice. That's the thing. I had to walk across the ice and going back and forth that Saturday. And it's just, well, walking back and forth across the ice, and my feet kind of came out from under me, and I went splat. And, well, yeah, I went splat right on the ice, out like a light. Kids were getting ready to play a game, and here's old snowman flat on the ice, not knowing a doggone thing of what's going on. Not knowing a doggone thing. And as it turns out, I gave myself a concussion after slipping and falling on the ice. And I wound up somehow at Cook County Hospital. I don't know how the hell I got there. I don't know how the hell I got there. I don't know what happened. And in some cases, I still don't want to know what happened. And I wound up in the trauma ward in Cook County Hospital. And had a headache from hell. That is my experience in attempting to skate on ice. Every time I see ice when I'm walking along here in the Midwest, here in Chicago especially, I go, hey, I don't want to slip. I mean this playfully. I have nightmares about that night in 2002, right after Thanksgiving, slipping and falling on my ass and then busting my head wide open. Here's the funny part. I had to get stitches after they cleaned the wound. I had to get stitches. I still have the scar today, but they had to, like I said, I had to get stitches. And I had blue hair. The stitching was blue. And a kid looked at me and said, "You have blue hair." I'm like, "What?" So I went and took a peek in the mirror, and sure enough, blue stitching. So I decided to run with it. Okay, I got blue hair for a while. I had blue hair for 10 days. I had to wait 10 days for them to take the stitching out, and then I had to wait another few days for it to really fully heal before I can shave my head again. But if I could skate, if I had actually had the skill to skate, and I mean skate well, I'd do Soldier Field. Just because of the way the weather is and getting a chance to put on the sweater and walk out onto the ice. The thing that was missing was the kids with their hockey sticks banging on the floor as the teams came out, like they had at Wrigley Field. That would have sent it over the top. Again, our Gigahertz question of the day. If you could participate in a Stadium Series game, which stadium would you choose? My answer is Soldier Field. Our question of the day is presented by Gigahertz, the official computer solutions company of the Arena Sports Network. Gigahertz, and that's where we come in. We'll pause for a break, and after the break, you'll hear a repeat episode of the Skinny on Sports, as you hear every Tuesday. Unfortunately, Skinny and I couldn't connect this time around, and he was very busy, so we're going to reconnect next week. You'll hear a past episode of that when we come back after the break. Second hour of Snowman in the Morning is on the way, and you're hearing it live on the Arena Sports Network. Come on back, y'all.
What is the IHSA?
For more than 100 years, the Illinois High School Association and member schools have provided opportunities for students to participate in interscholastic athletics and activities, which produce vital education benefits.
Did you know the IHSA offers statewide championship series in 14 sports for boys and girls and sponsors statewide championships in 7 non-athletic activities? Did you know the IHSA licenses more than 10,000 contest officials in 13 different sports and that more than 300,000 students participate in IHSA sports and activities every year? Did you know activity programs only account for 1 to 3% of the overall education budget in a school? Did you know the nation's first sportsmanship mascot was created by the IHSA in 1997 with the birth of Attitude? Did you know students who participate in activity programs tend to have higher grades, better attendance, lower dropout rates, and fewer discipline problems than students that don't participate? Did you know activity programs provide valuable lessons for practical life situations? Teamwork, self-discipline, time management, dealing with adversity, and communication skills?
Now that you know, get in the game. Be a fan and join the fun. Support your local high school programs.
This message has been brought to you by the IHSA. Challenge yourself.
Hey, can I talk to you for a second? Come on over. How do you feel about mobile banking?
If I could sum it up in one word, easy.
It's so convenient. I actually do a lot of my banking on a mobile app.
Yeah, it's really helpful. I love mobile banking. With the TCF mobile app, you can bank anytime, anywhere. So how would you use it?
If I need to check my balance really quick, or if I need to transfer funds really quick, I'll whip out my phone and do the little app.
At the airport yesterday when my flight got canceled and I needed to buy another ticket.
What's the craziest place where you've banked on your phone?
In the bathroom before I got in the shower.
Yeah.
Probably a plane when you're not supposed to be on your phone. They tell you to turn it off.
In bed.
I was in Morocco in the middle of the desert.
Morocco?
Yeah.
There isn't a crazy place for mobile banking. It's convenient.
Download the free TCF mobile app for your smartphone and tablet. Switch to the home of free checking today. For locations and more information, call 1-855-OPEN-TCF or go to tcfbank.com. TCF Bank. Surprisingly connected. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to this Tuesday morning edition of Snowman in the Morning. And this portion is presented by Subway of downtown Chicago. Subway, eat fresh. Well, you know, it's Tuesday morning, second half of the show, and about this time I always have the skinny on sports. And to help me out via the Gigahertz hotline, Brian Skinnell joining me. Good morning, sir.
Hey, how we doing there, Snowman?
Snowman is doing great. Off to the races on this Tuesday, and it's going to be a great day. And the subject that you brought up is a terrific one for us to talk about. With baseball season being on the horizon, let's talk a few favorites. And who are some of the favorites that you are looking forward to watching this year?
Well, first, you look at the New York Yankees and what all they've been able to put back together. You look at McCann, Roberts, Masahiro Tanaka. They've got, and certainly Derek Jeter hopefully coming back from injury. Hopefully he'll be able to play at 100%. So certainly you got to look at him. You got to look at the Yankees as a team that's going to play well, and you can't forget about the Washington Nationals. They struggled last year, but they're going to be back again this year, and they're going to be looking good. The Baltimore Orioles, they've kind of revamped. They just signed Ubaldo Jimenez. That's a great signing for them. And then the Dodgers with Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw and will Matt Kemp be healthy? We don't know. And the Tigers. They're always good. They always seem to have a solid squad up there. And you got to, can Miguel Cabrera, can he do the Triple Crown again? We'll have to wait and see. But I think it's going to be a pretty good baseball season coming up. We're in spring training right now, and you've got your obvious favorites, and it's always interesting to see who else maybe jumps up into that mix. Last year, the Braves really took control of the NL East and took control pretty handily. So we'll see if maybe there's another team like that out there that we don't necessarily expect to see play as well as they do, and maybe they jump up there and surprise folks.
A team that I'm looking at in the National League right now that could be that team that could jump up and surprise everybody, even though it wouldn't be too much a surprise, that would be the San Francisco Giants. They struggled last year after coming off winning a world championship. They got a lot of their players back, a lot of their nucleus, and it's going to revolve around folks like Buster Posey and Pablo Sandoval. But the Giants could be one of those teams that could sneak up and surprise some people, especially in the National League West.
Yeah, the Giants they underperformed last year, 76 and 86, third in the division, and I absolutely agree. I think they can be a team that rebounds. I guess rebound is a good way to put it. They got Matt Cain, Madison Bumgarner, Tim Lincecum, Hudson Vogelson. They've got pieces still there. You've already talked about Posey and Sandoval and Hunter Pence. There are guys there that are going to be able to contribute. And this past offseason, via a trade, they were able to pick up Michael Morris to play over in left field. And I think that's a great signing for them, and I think it'll be a move that's really going to help them out and make the lineup that much better through and through because Morris, he's a guy I'm familiar with. He played for the Nats for a couple years, and it was very sad to see him go. He's a hometown favorite for sure. And I think he's really going to be able to come in and help that lineup, and especially when you get into the second half of the order. I think they've got a good lineup through and through. Can't forget about Scudero and Crawford. Those two guys, they're just always good. And I think if you're a San Francisco Giants fan, you got to be excited about your chances in the NL West. And I think the NL West is going to be one of the more closely contested divisions this season.
I wouldn't be surprised if all four teams in that division finished above 500 and finished within about 5 to 6 games of each other because San Diego put on a little bit of a charge at the tail end of the year, even though the division pretty much was already decided. So the NL West is going to be a division that a lot of people are going to watch. The AL East, of course, with that 3-horse race, Boston, New York, and Tampa Bay. Let's take a look at Tampa Bay. What do you think would get Tampa Bay over the hump and unseat both Boston and the New York Yankees?
Well, I think, it's interesting. The 92 and 71, and I think they'll be able to unseat Boston. I think this one is going to come down to the AL East, that is going to come really down for me between Tampa and New York. I think it's going to be those two vying for that spot. And they just dumped Jose Labaton. They picked up, or he was traded to the Nationals for reliever Nate Carnes, and I think that'll be good for them because Nate's a guy that can come in. He probably won't be there initially and on opening day, but I think he'll improve and he'll get better and he'll work his way to the major league bullpen by season's end. But they got David DeJesus, Will Myers, Evan Longoria, Loney Zobrist. There's a lot of guys out there for them, and they're a team last year that they were somewhat streaky, I guess you could say. They were a little inconsistent. They'd get on a hot streak, and then they'd cool off, and then they'd get back on another hot streak, and then they'd cool off, and then they'd stay cool for a little while, and then they'd win a couple of games. So I think it's just going to take some more consistency in terms of winning baseball games. I think it's going to take more consistency. David Price, Alex Cobb, those guys, they got to be as strong, if not stronger, than they were last year. Do they have the deepest rotation in baseball? No, I don't think so. So I think that is another thing to keep an eye on as well, is how will that rotation hold up, not being one of the best in baseball. Because you look at the Nationals, and 1 through 4 can win a game on any given night. Right now, we don't know who's going to pitch in the 5-hole. It could be Russ Taylor. We don't know. But for Tampa, they don't have a rotation like that where you can bank on this guy winning. You can bank on these pitchers winning. It's one guy. It's an ace, David Price, and the rest of it's hold your breath. He can pitch well, but which pitcher are we getting tonight? Are we going to get the guys on a day game, or are we going to get the guy that pitched last week that came apart? So I think that's what it kind of boils down to. It's just getting more consistent for the Tampa Bay Rays, and I don't see why they shouldn't be this year. I really don't. I think they can do well.
Let me throw two teams at you, one of the American League and one of the National League, that could really pull a surprise because of what they did last year. One got in the postseason, one did not. The American League team is the Kansas City Royals. The National League team is the Pittsburgh Pirates. How do you think that they will shape out? I know this is way early, but looking at those two teams and two of the biggest surprises in the majors, how do you think that they will shake out this season?
Well, the Pirates, they don't have A.J. Burnett anymore, and I think that'll affect them somewhat. I think that they'll still do well. I think they've got a good enough pitching staff to where losing A.J. Burnett, while it is going to hurt a little bit, I think they'll still be able to do well. They still got Andrew McCutchen. They still got Alvarez, Jose Tabata out there. So I think they can still do well. And I would expect, if you're a Pirates fan, I would expect another season like last year. I think that's not out of the question, and I hope that they do that because they're more than capable of doing that. The Kansas City Royals, that one's interesting. The staff, the pitching staff that got put together there, it's about average. It's by no means stellar or fantastic. It's not bad either. They've got talent in spots around the diamond, but I think you're absolutely right in calling them a sleeper, though. I think they're a team that if they do well, I think it will be a surprise. If they do well enough to make a postseason run. You can expect them to win baseball games. You can expect any team to win baseball games. But I think if they want to put together a postseason run and get into the play in October, I think that would be a surprise for sure.
There are two players that are saying goodbye after this season. Both play in the American League, and both have been favorites of mine since I saw them come into the majors. One of them, of course, is Derek Jeter, and the other is Paul Konerko. He's saying goodbye to the White Sox after this season, his 16th. He spent most of them on the South Side. And you're talking about two stalwarts of Major League Baseball that are saying goodbye after this season. A lot's going to change culture-wise without seeing those two in their respective lineups, but they have left a big impact on the game and on the league.
Absolutely. Especially you talk about Paul Konerko and what he's done for the White Sox. He's spending numerous years. Since 1999 he's been there. Derek Jeter, though, the captain, I think that's going to be the biggest loss for the game of baseball, is watching him walk away. You look at all he's done. He spent his entire career, all 19 years, soon to be 20 years, in New York. All the emphasis. I mean, it's impressive. His resume, ridiculous. I think, for me personally, for someone that grew up watching Derek Jeter, that's going to be weird for me to say and go through it, so I know it makes me feel old. I think that'll be the biggest loss for baseball is Derek Jeter sport. Mr. No Captain Clutch, all the memories that brought to the New York Yankees and Yankees, both of them. So, Paul Konerko, he's a great player, and he's going to be missed as well. Batting .281 career, 444 home runs, 390 RBI. I mean, two great players from two classic organizations like the White Sox and the Yankees, both hanging up at the end of the season. And one can only hope that they get their farewell swan song, much like what Mariano got. That they get a fitting going out party because they both deserve it. They both deserve it because they brought so much to the game. And they changed it so much for that. That's what every athlete and every person wants to do. They want to go into something and change it, leave their mark on it for the better, and both of these guys have.
Do you think both are first ballot Hall of Famers? The answer is yes for Derek Jeter. I mean, like you said, the resume is. But do you think Paul Konerko is a first ballot Famer? I say yes with the effect he's had on the White Sox.
I don't know if Paul Konerko Hall of Famer. I think he is a Hall of Famer. I think he will get there. But first ballot, I don't know. It's a tough thing to do. So I don't think I'm on his first shot, but definitely Derek Jeter, I think, will get on his first shot. But I think I don't see why anybody would even leave Paul Konerko out of this town. If they leave him out, they'll get in the next time.
Yeah, both Hall of Famers. Derek Jeter certainly a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a contributor to Yahoo Sports, and he writes for Rant Sports, and that is the Skinny on Sports with Mr. Brian Skinnell joining me this morning. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Snowman. Always a blast.
Gigahertz, providing customers with excellent service since 2008. Computer problem? Leave it to the staff at Gigahertz, priding themselves with an unparalleled work ethic and continuing to offer customers the lowest prices around. Gigahertz services include PC repair, networking, PC setup, custom PC builds, pickup and delivery, in addition to in-home and in-office service. Get small to large business solutions, service contracts, and much more. Computer problems? Gigahertz. And that's where we come in. Gigahertz for your computer repair and solution needs. In-home, in-store, wherever it's convenient for you. Think your PC's infected? Gigahertz offers free virus diagnostics with most virus removals done in 48 hours or less. Plus, they'll optimize your PC. Take that, Best Buy. Give Gigahertz a call. 219-218-9323. That's 219-218-9323. Or log on to gigahertzpc.net. Gigahertz, and that's where we come in.
An ordinary sunny day, an ordinary family's living room filled with an ordinary bunch of kids, and they were doing nothing. They were couch slouching, they were rug imitating, and lazy minute after lazy minute was passing them by, when suddenly...
Huh? Hey guys, that's a personal foul. Inactive activity on a sunny day.
Coming to the rescue was NFL running back Reggie Bush.
Players don't get lazy penalties. Let's play.
Those kids, they listened to Reggie. They got up and play they did. There was fun and running. There were smiles and jumping. And laziness was crushed.
Hey kids, don't get a lazy penalty.
Kids, listen to Reggie and avoid lazy penalties. Be a player. Get up and play for an hour a day. Go online to check out smallstep.gov for fun playtime ideas.
So you can be a player too.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Be a player.
At Strachan Van Til, everything we do is designed around you. From the uncompromising freshness down every aisle to the unbeatable quality you'll always find. It's the very best selection from choice meats to bakery. And getting honest value every single day, all with the friendly personal service and the savings that you deserve. That's built around you. That's Strachan Van Til. Visit svtgroceries.com today.
Need a car in a pinch? Need to get somewhere fast? Don't rent a car, share a car with iGo. iGo provides the convenience and flexibility of having a car without the hassles of owning one. Members have 24-hour access to a fleet of iGo cars in reserved parking spaces all over Chicago and in 4 suburbs. iGo pays for the gas, premium insurance, maintenance, and 24-hour assistance. It's very simple and a great service to take advantage of. All you have to do is pick a plan, reserve a vehicle, and drive off. See? Easy. If you want more info, just visit igocars.org and start sharing today. iGo Cars, Chicago's only hometown nonprofit car sharing company.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird.
I figured Josh would like this. Can you imagine him skating out to Soldier Field and 62,000 people with this song playing? And doing the Charleston on skates. Can you imagine Josh Lopez doing this? Oh, Lordy. We continue on here on Snowman in the Morning. We're presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. Time for the ASN Digest, an abbreviated version thereof. This Friday, Marquette Catholic takes the floor as they begin their quest for Bankers Life Fieldhouse. And they'll start this Friday with the winner of Covenant Christian in Washington Township. That'll be at 5:30. We'll have the broadcast for you. If they win, they will play on Saturday night. And that will be a 7 o'clock tip-off. But first things first, got to win Friday to get to Saturday. They'll play at 5:30. Then they'll play the winner of the second sectional semifinal. Remember, in Indiana, it's sectionals, then regionals, then semi-state, and then state finals. That's their order. Also, baseball is on the horizon. This Thursday, March 6th, we will be at the Steel Yard in Gary, Indiana, providing some live coverage of Media Day for the 14th annual Railcats High School Baseball Challenge. Or the 12th annual, I should say, Railcats High School Baseball Challenge. We'll provide some live coverage of that, give you a couple of interviews, half-hour show from the Steel Yard in Gary, Indiana. That's Thursday. Also Thursday night, it's senior night for the UISC women's basketball team as they host Detroit. And Katie Henneman will be among 3 seniors that will be honored, and she's also 15 points away from 1,000 in her career. You can hear all the action beginning at 6 p.m., a special hour-long pregame show as the Flames host Detroit, looking for win number 21 on the season. That's the ASN Digest presented by the ASN Sports Travel and Vacations Agency. And now we go inside the journey, and we give you a peek inside what's happening on my side of the journey, and I want to connect with the fans that are having trouble struggling in their journey as well, as we all do, myself included. This is a way for us to connect. The journey is presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. I have a dual message. I'll get to that in a moment, but what you want to start doing from a physical standpoint, and this is the toughest thing for me physically, once I figured out where all the extra weight that I gained came from, and a big part of it was stress, The big part, the most difficult part was to get moving. And, you know, I was encouraged all the time. You know, Liz still encourages me, you know, just do some little things that'll get you moving. You know, one of the things that I discovered, and I discovered this about 3 weeks ago, jumping. And not jumping high, or sometimes I just do 50 jumps in place. I turn them into jumping jacks sometimes also. That'll get your heart moving, and that'll get the body moving. And that'll get your metabolism moving. The littlest things can get you cranked up and going. I combine that with some sit-ups, and I do some push-ups as well. But I try, every time I jump in place, I try to get 50 of them in. And my goal each day is to get 200. At 4 different times of the day, get 50 jumps in, and get my total of 200 in before the day is out. Food-wise, what I've learned to do also, but I've been horrible at this lately, is stop eating at a certain time. And the reason I've been horrible at it lately is because of lateness of the schedule, game schedule, and game times. But you want to stop eating no later than 9 o'clock in the evening, so you can give your body time to adjust, time to rest, and time to recover. Now on to my message. It's a twofold message this morning. Take responsibility and take action. And I can use myself as a perfect example because many, many times over, until lately, I would only do one and not the other. Take action, not responsibility, or take responsibility and not action. That's a mistake. The two must coincide. And I can tell you I was one of the absolute worst people at taking responsibility for my actions. Through no fault of my own. I would let life get in the way. And all of a sudden, people would tell me, you didn't do this, and I'm like, oh my God, you're right. I never took responsibility for it either. Lately I have, and it's felt good. The reason why it felt good is because now I can solve the problem. Just recently, Josh Lopez, my super producer, came to me. He was frustrated with me. And he had every right to be. He had absolutely every right to be. Because there were some instances where I had asked him to join me, and I never allowed him to join me. My fault. Period. I'm getting him involved more often. There are a few people who worked for me in the past that I need to square away, which I will do this spring. Taking responsibility, then taking action. When you mess up, take responsibility for it, okay? You don't want to have a cloud hanging over your head like it was hanging around mine for a long time with so many actions that I did wrong. And knowing you did wrong is one thing. Taking responsibility and then taking action are two separate things. When you take responsibility, the next course you should do is take action. I take responsibility for myself being in the situation that I am in. I'm taking action by doing something about it. For a long time, and just in the past 2 years, I would complain about my finances being bad, my living situation being bad, all that stuff. Liz got in my ear and said, you know what, honey? It's the fact that you're standing up and taking action for it that makes me happy. Now, I just hope that y'all realize, and I've said it before, and I will say it many, 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 many times over, and it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. I am nowhere near perfect, nor do I want to be perfect. I am human. I mess up, period. But at the same time, I have learned a lot just in the past 2 years. I have learned to take responsibility for my mess-ups and take action to fix them. It's taken a while, and it's going to continue to take a while because there are still some things I need to learn, and there are still some things I need to straighten out, period. And it's going to be that way for a while until I get everything the way that I want it, okay? And I have to also remind myself and keep reminding myself that it's not always about me. It will never, ever, ever, ever be always about me. I never want it to be always about me because there is a team behind me professionally and there is a team behind me personally. And I want to make sure that they are satisfied first. I want to make sure they are situated first. This involves me standing up for some of the blatant mess-ups that I did and some of the accidental mess-ups that I did, period. So I am taking responsibility for how I've messed up before in terms of business, in terms of my personal relationships, in terms of relationships with my family. I am taking action by, first of all, apologizing to them and then setting about fixing the course. I got a question asked to me a little while ago. Are you at a point where you can sleep good at night knowing you have given your best every single day? For the first time in almost 3 years, I can say yes. Every single night I am sleeping good when I actually go to sleep. I'm kidding when I say that. I'm sleeping good because I know I've asked the Lord to forgive me for my mistakes. I recognize my mistakes, and I am now solving them. And it's that part alone, solving them, that has made me smile. We all make mistakes, but there's no damn rule in the book that says we cannot correct them with whom we've made the mistakes with, especially when it comes to people. Especially when it comes to people. And I'm the biggest people person you will find. So I hate when I mess up around folks that are close to me, but I'm also glad I get a chance to fix them. And that has been and will be my mission for 2014. My personal mission, any mistake that I have made with a person that was close to me, I'm going to fix it. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to fix it. And if I don't, it will not be because of a lack of effort. So folks, do something today. When you mess up somewhere or with someone, take responsibility, then take action. The two actions have to go hand in hand. That's Snowman's message for the day. And with that thought in mind...
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Oh, man. Wasn't that great, kid?
Trivia time will return tomorrow, I promise. Also with Lyle Files Live, a repeat episode of Mike to Mike, and a few more things inside Snowman in the Morning. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for joining us each and every morning. And remember, become a listener partner today and help us become the Quad County Voice Experience. I love you all. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. God bless. And remember to make your next move your best move. So long, everybody.